Move over, Denzel.
Well, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. My day is going, yeah, it's going. You know, I can't complain. Well, I mean, I could, but I mean, what really would it matter anyway? So, once again, I want to thank you for clicking on the video. I have just a couple things that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention. Just talking about 20 billion that's gone, you know, because we don't need it here. Trump and some of the Republicans are clashing. And Candace Owens, she is saying some very disturbing things. She has been saying some very disturbing things for quite some time, but not to the effect of where she is now. So I just want to talk about that. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts, but I would love for you guys to chime in, leave a comment on what do you think about what's going on, right? So I want to first start off with this clip on the Trump and MAGA folks. So let's pull this up.
Let's talk a little bit about Trump just finding himself super confused about what's going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
What I am doing is sounding the alarm bells. This is a major crisis in America. When people are working paycheck to paycheck, they can't make ends meet, and we're looking at a massive spike in health insurance premiums. It's going to crush people. They're going to have to drop their health insurance, and that could put a lot of people in danger of being bankrupt with hospital bills or health care bills. And I don't think that's the right way to treat the American people.
Agreed. Again, which is weird and strange, but I welcome it. Marjorie Taylor Greene has once again had the balls to step out in public and step out of line with members of her own party. And she's doing it on the issue of healthcare, something that is definitely in need of attention from our law.
Now, I just want to ask a question, and please comment in the comments if you can. But was this not something that was talked about prior to the elections? Do you guys think she's doing this now because she's nervous about her seat, more or less, you know, her job versus the actual constituents she represents?
Lawmakers, but tends to get neglected. And now apparently Donald Trump is absolutely perplexed by it. He's befuddled. What's going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Isn't she one of my loyal warriors? Well, it turns out she's got a mind of her own. I respect that. And I want to tell you exactly what she is pushing for. So this saga did heat up again yesterday when Congresswoman Greene came out in support of extending the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, which would lower premiums for Americans, or at least keep premiums where they are. Without those subsidies, in some cases, premiums can double for Americans and make health insurance unbelievably unaffordable and unattainable. So if those subsidies expire at the end of the year, insurance premiums will skyrocket by more than 100% for the average consumer in the marketplace. That's insane. And to Greene's credit, she actually cares about this issue because she is speaking out about it in a way that I'm sure members of her own party are not pleased by. So to be clear, again, she has been railing against the Affordable Care Act. She sees it as a flawed policy, and it's not like she's backing away from still believing that. She says, no, I'm not towing the party line on this or playing loyalty games. I'm carving my own lane, and I'm absolutely disgusted that health insurance premiums will double if the tax credits.
You know, it's amazing how people can complain about certain things, but they never have a solution. They can complain and complain and complain, but they never have a solution. Now, if you can complain and create the solution, then perfect. But if all you are doing is complaining, like they talked about the Affordable Care Act, complain, 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 but no one has brought a new solution that would be better? Like, it might not be perfect, but what do you have that is better, right?
It's expired this year. So she's basically saying, look, I hate this system. I don't like the Affordable Care Act, but this is the system we have in place right now. And without the subsidies, Americans are screwed. I want to do something about that. To her credit, she wants to do something about that. Now, Mike Johnson, meanwhile, the House Speaker, of course, is calling the issue of ACA subsidies expiring a red herring by the Democrats. But Greene disagrees. And she doubled down on that last night during an interview with News Nation. Take a look.
The issues of the subsidies are real. It's not something that anybody can say is made up. Also, people with regular or private plans, their premiums are looking to go up a median of 18%. That's brutal. I know a lot of small business owners, like a family of four, and they're paying $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month with deductibles of $7,000 to $10,000 and approximately.
That is absolutely ridiculous. You know, they say most Americans or most people don't even have $500 saved up. $500. So to think that if something happened and you need to go to the hospital, you need to have at least 10,000. At least 10,000, and that's not even comfortable.
40% of these people don't even use their health insurance. So they're just burning money just in case they might have cancer or just in case they have a terrible car accident. And then you've got single moms, many Americans that are really struggling that are on the ACA. If you double their health insurance or even triple it, these people are they're either going to have to drop it or they're going to be choosing between rent and their health insurance.
I literally can't believe what I'm watching. Like, that was amazing. She is right. She is right. And she's being specific. She's citing statistics. She has a firm, accurate grasp on the situation.
You can all go and take a look at this. It's from TYT. White T? Anyway, you can go and check her channel out. Thank you, ma'am. So next, we are moving on. What do you think about that? Like, I mean, it's good that she's speaking out, right? Because at the end of the day, say something. You know, it's okay to get on the right side of history if you feel like that is the right side of history. So, yeah. Now let's move on to something else that you guys as president is doing on your behalf, I think.
Breaking news here, the U.S. agreeing on an Argentina $20 billion swap line where it would help buy pesos. This framework basically allows for that and helps support that country's currency, because this has kind of been an ongoing story that has been very disruptive.
Absolutely. Certainly in the financial markets. We're hearing from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying that the U.S. Treasury is prepared immediately to take whatever exceptional measures are warranted to provide stability to markets. So the U.S. stepping in a big way here.
Yeah, the U.S. Treasury directly purchasing Argentinian pesos as part of its support for the country. This is a step that U.S. authorities really had rarely taken in recent decades. So with this U.S. intervention, let's bring in now the former U.S. comptroller of the currency. Joining us now to discuss is Jean Ludwig. Jean.
I don't think that we needed the money. You know, it's not like we have homelessness or hunger issues or infrastructure problems or education or, we don't have those.
Is also the author of the newly released The Mismeasurement of America, How Outdated Government Statistics Mask the Economic Struggle of Everyday Americans. Jean, it's good to get you here with us, and how fortuitous that we have you here on the day that this swap line is announced. Can you give us your instant analysis on why this is significant for the U.S. and how this helps kind of restore financial stability across North America?
This is one of the toughest calls that a Treasury has to make, which is currency support. And happily, the United States is blessed with a very fine Treasury Department with a lot of experts Keeping international stability in these currencies is important. They don't take these things lightly. I'm sure they've thought about this from every conceivable angle. And net, I think it's a good thing to do, but it's a very tricky thing to get right. And they're smart to try to get ahead of it.
Let me ask a dumb question, because you have Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, saying that the U.S. Treasury is prepared immediately to take whatever exceptional measures are warranted to provide stability to markets. Some people might wonder, what is it about Argentina that the U.S. has such an invested stake in? Why is the U.S. so particularly focused on this country when it doesn't seem to have much impact on people's day-to-day lives or the U.S. economy on a day-to-day basis?
Well, you know, it's an important country. It's much larger and richer than most people understand. So making sure that this stays stable, as well as the currency markets generally, is a sensible move. But as I say, this is a very hard area. In my day and age, we were worried about Mexico, and we took some extraordinary measures at that time that worked out. But we've got competent people doing this, and getting ahead of it and showing strength is a good thing.
Well, okay.
About 6 weeks ago, I started using the pink salt trick, and I actually gained more weight. But in the last 2 weeks, I switched to the original recipe with pepper, pink salt, apple cider vinegar, and baking soda.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of farmers are pretty upset.
Breaking news here.
A lot of farmers are pretty upset about this move. They figured that they should, get that money for assistance due to China also taking over, with China and Argentina working out that contract where they're going to be buying up the soybeans and things of that nature. So not only did they get the business from the farmers, they also got the welfare checks that they would have been receiving. They got double screwed on that. So yeah. I wonder how they taking that. Okay. So now let's move on to Miss Candace Owens. And I had to play this because I was quite astonished that I didn't even watch the whole thing. Okay, let me go and play it.
I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents. So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me, trying to bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real. Okay, I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to leave, to fight for custody of your own soul. Just leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people? And I want you to know that those people, if anything happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement who behave like this behind the scenes. It's necessary. And I highly recommend every single person that is out there that has a platform and is going through things and is scared, do the same. Send everything around to about 8 people that you trust.
She admitted it. She's scared.
And I mean, I've ranged it. I sent it to journalists, text messages and screenshots to people ranging from Max Blumenthal to Andrew Tate. They won't know where it's coming from.
Oh, yes.
Watch what magnesium does to your bowels.
I hate when they sneak a commercial on you like that. You know what I mean? Let's see what this is.
As though these pastors are just not as honest as they should be. So many people were racing to establish that his legacy was anything but Catholic, right? Like he was super de-duper Judeo-Christian. It registered to me like more of a cult. So Charlie's faith and what direction it was going into would actually matter, right? It would actually matter if Charlie, and I never said he was going to, decided one day to become Catholic. It would have financial implications. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor.
Yeah, Miss Owens. You were exposing a lot. But see, that's what happens when you just like the old folks say, dance with the devil. They come to collect. And just because you not ready to give it up, that does not mean that they not about to collect what they came for. So that's why you just have to be cautious. You really have to be cautious with what you do and how you approach things, and really look at whether or not it's really worth it. Because sometimes it's just really not worth it. Now y'all know that Carlos King and Matthew Knowles did an interview or whatnot, and it's just all this buzz about, oh well, you had Alicia Keys and Beyonce, and it was on the Swiss Beats production, and it was shot by the Melinda Mawasaki girl or whatever her name is down in Rio de Janeiro, and all this. And he went on Carlos King, and he said that they were in the projects Hood, Ghetto, and Rio, and Sony Records hadn't paid the gangsters. They had to be helicoptered out of there. That's really what happened. And then that's it. So I guess everybody wanted to watch the interview to see like what was, the conclusion of it, because you just got this snippet of him saying that. So what the tea is that the interview was coming to an end, right? Well, actually, the interview was over with. And so Mr. Knowles let Carlos ask one more question. And so he asked that question, like, whatever happened to the video? Because we never, got to see a video for the song. And that's when he made the comment, made the statement about, the gangsters and helicoptered out and this and the third. And so Carlos, because it was the end of the interview, and he was only given an hour, and the time had, he had went over already. With him just saying, "Hey, one more question," he answered it. He shook his hand, and he left him with the cliffhanger. So I mean, that's good, because that probably was the best part of the interview, to be honest with you. I don't know. Go and take a look at it. But yeah, as you get older, you just start spilling secrets, child. He probably said too much about nothing. But anyway, let's get to Diddy real quick since I got this up. So Diddy, they have calculated Diddy's release date. Now this is a guesstimate. Now don't hold your breath because you with your oil waiting on them. They are expecting Diddy to be released May 5th. Cinco de Mayo? How tragic. Well, not really. But did anybody do anything last Cinco? This Cinco next year, it ain't gonna be worth nothing. So yeah, so they're expecting Diddy to be out by expecting his release date to be May 5th, 2026. Yeah, in just 7 months. So they're saying that there's been nonstop chatter, of course, online about when Diddy will finally be released from prison. Everybody talking about the fans, the haters, the bloggers have all been throwing out guesses, but most of them are way off. So people have overall, this is what they decided to do. So somebody reached out to two highly respected criminal defense attorneys with more than 50 years of experience combined handling serious federal cases. So together they walked through through the numbers, the laws, and the programs that could shorten Diddy's prison time, right? So the result is the most accurate and credible release projection that you'll probably find right now online. No speculation or guesswork, just straight to the legal map. So they first started with the facts. Diddy was arrested September 16, 2024 by the Homeland Security investigators in Manhattan. Following a grand jury, of course, he got indicted. He was later sentenced to the 50 months in prison. Now, if you simply count 50 months from the date Diddy's release would fall on November the 16th, 2028. But what you haven't applied is any of the sentence reduction, because under the federal law, inmates who behave well and participate in approved programs can earn credit towards early release. Everybody know about the early release. Now, according to the attorneys, Diddy has already received credit for time served since his arrest, which drops his remaining term to 38 months. But that number can be cut down further through a combination of good conduct, First Step Act credits, and completion of the residential drug abuse program known as the RDAP. Now, for federal inmates who stay out of trouble and follow institutional rules, he can earn up to 54 days of good conduct credit per year. And over 38 months, that equals to about 6.5 months off. When those credits are applied, Diddy's projected release date moves from late 2028 up to approximately May 2028. That becomes his new baseline release date, assuming no other programs are factored in, right? Then you have the First Step Act. Now, this allows inmates to participate in rehabilitative, vocal and educational programs to earn additional time credits. Diddy would be eligible to earn up to 15 days of credit for every 30 days of successful participation. If he continuously participates and maintains a low-risk score, these credits can shorten his sentence by several more months. With full participation, that could move his transition to community custody, such as a halfway house or home confinement, to around September 2027. Then, child, they giving him more stuff to get up out of there. Then he can do the residential drug abuse program, which is the most significant sentence reduction opportunity in the federal prison. So it's a 9-month hold on, it blanked off. Okay, so it's a 9-month intensive drug treatment and counseling program that can cut up to 12 months off any inmate sentence. Oh, damn, just a whole year. If Diddy is accepted and completes this program, his projected release date could drop from May 2028 to around May 2027. That would mean roughly 19 months in secured federal custody before he qualifies for community-based supervision. Now, the First Step Act also allows low-risk inmates who complete the drug program to spend up to 12 months in home confinement near the end of their sentence, which means that he could be moved out of the federal facility and into monitoring home confinement as early as May 2026. Now, the home confinement is not freedom, but it's a major step up from the prison life. He could be under close supervision, possibly wearing an ankle monitor, and his movements would be tightly restricted. But he could still be able to live in his own home and begin rebuilding his life, well, before his release, his official release date. When you combine all these programs and credits, good time, good conduct time, First Step Act participation, and the RDAP completion, the math becomes clear. Diddy's total 50-month sentence, which officially began counting from his 2024 arrest, could realistically end around May 2027. Even if everything goes perfectly, if he continues to keep his record clean, earns all available credits, and completes the program, he could be transferred to home confinement by May 2026. That means just 7 months in the Bureau of Prisons, the Bureau of Prisons facility, followed by a year under supervised home release. This timeline represents the most favorable outcome possible under current federal law. And it's not just speculation. The sources emphasize that this calculation is based on real precedences and current Bureau of Prisons policies. So while social media debates when Diddy might get out, the truth is clear. With discipline, compliance, and full program participation, Diddy could be back home, or at least back home with an ankle bracelet, as soon as spring of 2026. Guard your dogs, guard your women, guard your pets, guard everybody. Just guard them all. Now, how much time I got, because I could just go this one little thing about Doja Cat real fast. Okay, it's 24 minutes. Okay, so Doja Cat was doing an interview, and so, okay, so let me just read it to y'all. So Doja Cat is one of the most successful artists on the planet, but the singer and rapper says that old rumors of her allegedly being a devil worshiper follow her wherever she goes. I think about it a lot, really. I think about it almost every day. The Beauty told Angie Martinez when asked about the whispers. Every time, every pinpoint of when that's happened to me down my career, it's happened a lot. And I think it's not for me to prove to people who cannot or don't wish to listen. It's a harsh reality, but I like to stay there. Martinez then questioned Doja about her religious beliefs, and she doesn't subscribe to any particular religion. She shared that she does believe in a higher power. She says, in quote, "I believe that there's something going on. I don't know what, and I don't want to question it. I don't follow any formula of any sort of traditional thing." So she said, and then she went on to add that it is important to believe in something bigger than yourself to avoid getting lost. And I agree with that. I really do. You have to believe in something, but it doesn't have to necessarily be, an idol. You know what I mean? I think people these days, they get too kind of caught up in that worshiping of idols and stuff. It's okay to adore people, but, keep a grip, keep a grip on yourself. So yeah, so that was it for the day, my lovely people. I am glad that you guys decided to, to chill with me on this beautiful day. I hope that you are having, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I don't want to keep you too long. It's been 26 minutes. So on that note, you have until next time. Until next time, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I don't want to beg, but I'm begging. Please share, like, and subscribe. Thank you.